So one question, how many of you guys are database engineers? Hands up. Okay, the ones that don't work in Pipedrive. Yeah, okay, we're hiring, by the way. Yep. Today, about monitoring and how it wasn't all that flowery back then and how it's a lot better right now. So brief history and why it was a problem. Blank, right? No. We had Zabbix and we had Perl scripts. Anyone familiar with Perl here? How much you hate it? Good. Then you know why it was a problem. So for me, myself, when I joined Pipedrive exactly 3 years ago, so today is my work anniversary, woo. But I didn't code at all. Like Bash was far-fetched for me. And taking a look at Perl, too much. So this equal like this most of the days for me. Like trying to debug something, yeah, this is fine. I mean, all the databases are down, no alerts. This is fine. This is totally fine, man. And yeah, the Perl script, how many people use Zabbix, by the way, or used Zabbix? You know what trapper items are? Okay, so we trigger something and it returns a bunch of data. So one check and tens, hundreds data points. This is bad because it only gave us the opportunity to trigger one thing and always get the same time interval. No granularity in the sense. Maintainability. So Perl script, not gonna happen for me, never. Single point of truth. That meant that, you know, we had only one people or one script's vision on how it works. We didn't have like second thoughts on anything. Bad. And usability. It reported wrongfully. So saying that, you know, some masteries read-only. In fact, it wasn't. It was a problem. Our on-calls got calls during the nighttime. They were angry at me, angry at my peers. And monitoring was kind of trembling. But now, how we ended up with near real-time data. And when I say near real-time, I mean from the deployment process until the very first alert, basically. It can all happen in roughly a minute. So that's why near real-time. But we can tone it down to, let's say, 5 seconds if we want to, but we don't. So, as Hanno mentioned earlier, we use Terraform. Terraform bootstraps the node. Then Chef does its bada bing, bada boom. We found out that, you know, poof, a node happens and it registers in console, which is awesome. Now we know that this node has this IP address, it has these services running, our own exporters, whatnot, all the proof part, the magic. And then we have awesome developers in monitoring team that have came up with exporter that's so exquisite that it goes to console, takes the information needed, queries it, serves it to Prometheus, and voila, it magically appears in Grafana, which, by essence, as we have templated dashboards, if you will, start alerting. Our MySQL clusters are quite like the same. So we have the thresholds always the same. So this brings us to the version of having real alerts happening near real time after bootstrapping your node. To Chef configuring it, console doing console things, and poof doing poof things, yeah. So what are the main components for our monitoring for MySQL? MySQL D exporter. I think anyone that has dealt with MySQL and Prometheus should know about it. It's publicly available, made by Prometheus themselves. Yeah, gives overall metrics. So we get the cool nitty gritty about MySQL. company DB exporter. So once again, this is in-house built. It gives us slave status and overall master-slave info. We use it heavily for alerting. And then there's also some other small components which we didn't list today, and we use Graylog to catch errors from MySQL process and node itself and alert based on it. But in future plans, we will change the Graylog part out to more something fancier parts. Like, have you heard of Loki? No? Yes? Maybe? Good. So this is green means good, right? Yeah, you do know that. Green means good. Everything is all green. And this is our own exporter saying that with, let's see, the variables here, we can get all the hosts that are in different data centers, different parts, live test, whatnot. We get their statuses. And as soon as something is flaky, guess what? Our own call will start getting calls in the middle of the night. We'll be pissed, but we'll be pissed by actionable calls, not some, stale ones. But if you're, after today, figuring out that, I want to have some of that Prometheus by myself, then there are some learning points. Given the fact that we have, okay, let's go with that first. Yeah, staying on Zabbix. I could have used my knowledge and whatnot and learned the Perl script, or figured out something else. Now Zabbix supports Prometheus, so basically, yeah, right. Anyone wants to help me with that? No. So thousands of schemas making things harder. At first, when we started tingling around with Prometheus, I enabled the MySQL exporter with all the flags. Of course you do that, right? But in test, thankfully, test fell down because it connected to every schema in one database, getting crazy, whatnot. And luckily, I didn't put that into live environment because it was Friday night. So yeah, in-house exporters are easily manageable. If you learn a bit of Go, Python, Bash, what have you, your tools of trade, you can have a great monitoring tool at your hands by just instrumenting some small stuff yourself. And Perl didn't give us a high level of check execution and whatnot. So data consistency is now one of the main key features of our monitoring. And that hopefully will keep my peers happy. Thank you, guys.